Hey guys, welcome to Wendell Fishing. Daren here. Today I have the square bill crankbait. I'm going to show you how to fish it, where to fish it, when to fish it, and what gear to fish it with. Here we go. The square bill. This thing is great for shallow water fishing. I'm talking about fishing in 5 feet of water or less. And the beauty of the square bill, it's actually designed to fish pretty heavy cover. And you might be thinking, man, I'm going to get this thing caught up. But it actually deflects cover really well. The designs on these things are endless. Some of them have BBs in it. This one has a BB in it to make kind of clicking sounds, try to get that reaction bite. Others don't have anything in it and they use just the thumping sound to get the attention of those bass. So how do you fish the square bill crankbait? Now this thing's gonna be a great search bait for you. It's gonna cover a ton of water and you're gonna wanna beat this thing to death. If you beat this thing to death, if you're hitting cover and hitting stumps and hitting rocks, you're fishing this correctly. You know, a lot of times when we fish, we're trying, we see a stump or we see a piece of cover and we kind of fish next to it and we're like, I just don't want to get caught up. I don't want to take my boat. I don't want to take my kayak over there. That is not how you fish the square bill crankbait. You want to throw this out, hit as much cover as you possibly can. And you do this because you want to get that reaction bite. And yes, you'll get caught up every once in a while, but man, that's what this thing was designed to do. So with most lures, there's a lot of different ways that you can retrieve the lure, but for the square bill crankbait, you're just going to cast it out and do a steady retrieve all the way back. And the key here is you want to make contact with the bottom to get those trigger bites. And so you're going to be fishing water and you want to find a square bill that's the size that's going to take this to the depth that is actually lower than the depth of the body of water that you were fishing, because you want this thing to maintain contact on the bottom of that body of water. Once again, you want to touch everything you possibly can with the square bill. So if you're new to fishing, you know that you have to take the water temperature into consideration. So if your water temperature is below 60 degrees, you're going to want to move this fairly slow, much slower than you usually would be. Now, if the water is 60 degrees plus, you can move this a lot faster. So keep that in mind when you're fishing the square bill. When you're running a lure into everything you can find, especially with 2 exposed treble hooks, you're gonna get caught up. So when I fish a bomber, and when I go fishing in Pennsylvania in the rivers, there's a lot of river rock. A lot of times I get my square bill caught in the river rock. Being that I fish a lot of cover all the time, especially in the pads that you see behind me, I'll get my lures caught in and I just rip them out. But when you're fishing the bottom, especially in rock, and you get your lure caught, don't try to horse it out of there. Just stop for a second. These things float. A lot of times they'll wiggle their way back up and you'll free your lure. Fishing this thing through shallow grass, a lot of times guys will give up. They get it caught in the grass and they think that cast is a loss. It is not. Rip it through the grass. I can't tell you how many times I ripped it through the grass and got a reaction bite from a bass on the other side. So don't consider it a loss if you get this thing caught up. Just kind of pull it through the grass and you'll be good to go. We all have our favorite crankbaits. Let me know what yours is in the comment below. I might end up buying it. You might see it in my next video. All right, moving on. These things are not designed to be fished deep. So what you're gonna want to fish this around is a lot of cover. And if you're new to fishing, cover is the stuff on top of the water. Structure is the topography of that body of water that you were fishing. I like fishing this on a lot of weed lines, shallow weed lines, or above kind of grass. Maybe if the grass is kind of, I can still see it, maybe it's 2, 3, 4 feet, I'll run this over top of it, and man, bass will kill this thing if you're running on top of grass or down a weed line. I'm also reaching behind in my kayak crate to grab the square bill if I see riprap. Now, if you're not familiar with what riprap is, it's essentially any place on your body of water where man has put rock. So I know on this particular lake, there's a train that runs along the far side of this lake, and all along that side of the lake is man-placed rock, and that's where fish love to hang out. So I'm gonna be running this thing down, that riprap, banging against as much rock as I possibly can to get those bass to bite. Question is, when do you fish this? Now, the square bill crankbait will catch fish all year long, but I'm bringing this bad boy out, hooking it up in spring and in fall. And this is when I have the most luck with the square bill. And to be honest with you, I don't fish it in summer a whole lot. I know you can, but I pull out a lot of my soft plastics and utilize those during the summer. But spring and fall, break this guy out. What type of gear am I using for the square bill crankbait? Usually I'm using a bait caster. I'm going to use probably anywhere from 12 to 18 pound fluorocarbon line. I want a medium heavy stiffer rod, 7 foot plus, And depending on when I'm fishing, if I'm gonna be fishing in the spring or in the fall, my retrieve is gonna be a lot slower, so my gear ratio on my reel is gonna be in the 5 and 6 to 1. If I'm fishing in warmer water, which I don't very often, then I'm gonna hook this up to a 7 to 1 plus, because I want to move this a lot faster. Come on now, if you're getting value, please hit the like button. Let me know you're there. So in a nutshell, you want to break this out when you want to cover a lot of water. You want a great search bait. You're fishing shallow and 1 to 5 foot. You see a lot of heavy cover. You want to bump it off your rocks. You want to bump it off your laydowns. You want to bump it off your stumps. You want to run it in and through the grass lines. You want to run it along that riprap. And this is a must-have for spring and fall. Hope this helps, guys. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.